And we are back. Pokemon Emerald, Hardcore Nuzlocke. We are only using random Pokemon. The abilities are ridiculously randomized as well, and we have finally made it to the Elite Four. We've got a very fun and different lineup here for our final six Pokemon. And we've got some ridiculous legendaries here. We've got the pseudo legendary. We've got a Politoed I've never used before. Porygon 2. What is even happening? A Hitmonchan without any of its signature punches lined up with the Thunder Punch and the we do have Mach Punch, but the Thunder Punch, Fire Punch, and Ice Punch, because it's special in Gen 3, the special physical split really hurts because, as you can see there, that special attack is absolutely terrible. So, disclaimer up front, it is way past my bedtime, but I purposely wanted to make the videos right now because the commentary is going to be so all over the place and disjointed. It's going to be beautiful. I'm going to say some things that I'm like, what in the world did I just say? So just keep that in mind as I start to commentate these silly fights. So right here, I just wanted to go over all of the Pokemon we had on the table. And as you can see in the Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald games, there are so many Pokemon available. And I think we even missed out on some encounters that I accidentally crit or ran away from. So just keep that in mind as we go through and look at all of these Pokemon. It is just insane. My beautiful Exploud Boromir, we did get to use him. Also had Timid, which is fantastic with the potential moveset that you can teach him, and Static is really good. We had the Venusaur. We just had so many good Pokemon, and we had some really bad ones as well. But honestly, I think overall we had so many choices. And right here, I was going to absolutely use this Typhlosion. But the minus ability was such a big bummer. I really wanted a good ability there. We never even got a Moonstone. And on top of Moonstones, I think another disclaimer I want to make is the heart scales. I did not find a single heart scale this entire game. So as far as going to the move relearner to get some really good abilities and moves, we couldn't because I had 0 heart scales to give him. So we really had to crunch for the the move sets with this final team. As you'll see, some of the moves I ended up with are very questionable in nature. Another Pokemon I really wanted to use was the Flygon, but another plus ability there is just pathetic, honestly. And then Truman on the Crawdon, as if Crawdon wasn't bad enough. That is just brutal. Another plus ability on the Dugtrio, Swarm on the Victory Bell, Cacophony on the Seeking, and then just we got huge power on the Tentacruel, but I used Tentacruel so much I didn't want to use that here. And then the Swampert, I was absolutely going to go Swampert with the Adamant Nature, but we got another plus passive. A Wobbuffet with Pure Power is just comical. We got the Urasang, and we did manage to use the Pidgeot in this region quite a bit, actually, because that was my starter, Arwen, right there. So really good stuff. And we ended up getting the Metagross again with Flash Fire, so it couldn't get hit by one of its really pivotal weaknesses, which is just filthy. But since I used a Metagross so much in my last randomizer, I had to put him on the bench. We had the Claydol with Shed Skin. There's the Sunflora. Beedrill with Water Absorb, super fun, but it is a Beedrill. Then we have the Dusclops and the Dancing Duckling in the Rain. We did manage to use Bellossom quite a bit. It was my go-to electric type pivot, as well as just my utility. Really cool there. We had the Meganium, got the Solrock, we had the Pelipper with Flame Body. That's actually really fun since it's such a defensive Pokemon. Really cool. Had the Tropius, Steelix. Now, if we had potential for going to the relearner and then I could get like a Earthquake on her, I think that would be huge. But Rough Skin as well, oh, so good, but we could not go to the relearner, as I previously stated. No heart scales. So there's the Ampharos. A Flame Body Blaziken is filthy, and this was more of a ban. I think I would have just bulked up and just destroyed the Elite Four, get a nice Yawn Cheese there, and then I just would have flexed with Blaziken. But it's also a starter. In randomizers, I don't really like using the starters because that's kind of the whole point. You're here for random Pokemon for different Pokemon. Articuno, man, I was saving the Aragorn nickname the entire game. I finally used it, and we couldn't even... This because of the randomizer, Articuno cannot learn Ice Beam, and that just broke me. It really did. And I think if we leveled it up to 55, it could get Blizzard, but that's just really risky in the Elite Four. Then we had Drought Machamp, which is just comical. I have used Machamp in the past, but the Drought might backfire if they have a really strong fire type, so we didn't really have a way to play around that. Guts Girafarig potentially with the Baton Pass could have been cool, but I have used Girafarig in the Elite Four as well. And then White Smoke on the Medicham could have been fantastic with those Calm Minds, but kind of like the same thing as the Blaziken, I just felt like I would have found myself sweeping with just those two Pokemon, so I purposely left them off the table. And then as far as the casualties, we only lost 2 along the way, but they are absolutely 2 Pokemon I was going to take to the Elite Four. We had Hustle Aerodactyl and then Rough Skin Gengar. And that I had 1 Leaf Blade TM, and I was just confident that the Gengar was going to make it, and I was wrong. A scandalous loss there, and then the Aerodactyl got exploded on by the Weezing in the 7th gym. Just ridiculous stuff. The Gengar was a careless death in the that rocket place after on the 7th gym, like where the rocket ship takes off, the institute there. I was so comfortable, and I got Feint Attack crit, and then Aerodactyl got explosion or self-destruct crit as well. So both of our casualties were to critical hits, and I'm actually kind of proud of that, because other than that, we did fantastic, as you can see with all these Pokemon. So without further ado, I have stalled long enough. Let's dive right in and see if we can beat the Elite Four with this team of heroes. Let's do this thing. Let's absolutely do it. I'm going to do my best not to use the speed button. We're going to try to make some calculated plays, some outplays. We have pure power on Salamence. This is phenomenal. So I'm actually going to lead with our Poliwhirl here, or Politoed, I should say. And dude, this team is very strange, but it's also very stacked in its own way. So I definitely think we're going to win this. But if you saw my randomizer in Leaf Green, if they send out something that can lock you in, then we've definitely got to watch out for that. So the Hypno comes down, really good special defense, really good special attack, and it goes for the Meditate. So that is just fine. We've got the Yawn, and dude, let's just flex on him. Let's absolutely flex on him with Fellowship. Our pure power Salamence as the Yawn comes down. And we are just going to really lean into these flies, as it's going to hit for stab, pure power, and it's basically just a double stab. And as you can see, she is just going to have her way. The Walrein comes down, though, and right here, if Walrein has Shadow Tag or Arena Trap, we are in trouble. We are absolutely in trouble, but he does not, thank goodness, and this is probably going to be a Hail into Blizzard combination, so we really need Theoden to be able to live. We really need Theoden to be able to live, and I'm all in. I'm all in on the Sky Uppercut. It does have a 10% miss chance, and Walrein holds. Thankfully, it's just an Aurora Beam. It is just an Aurora Beam, and Sydney will probably get the heal in here on top of the Citrus Berry. So let's just go for a Mach Punch. No heal comes down. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful. We don't have to worry about it. And now Espeon comes down. And we could get real cheesy here with a Signal Beam. It is super effective, and it is physical in this generation, which is also why I ran it on there, just for some coverage. But really, it's just in case we get stuck in there with the Espeon. I think we actually pivot into our Mewtwo here. Tolkien comes down. The Psybeam is here for the super effective damage, but we did a really good pivot there, and now we can just completely flex with a Shadow Punch. Mewtwo's special attack is better, but his physical is also really good as well, as we just tank another Psybeam. Espeon lives, and we're just going to rain down as developer Jasmine use a full restore. I love Espeon. That sprite is so cool. He is just ready to pounce. Such a good Pokemon. And the Withdraw comes down, and Gramble is here for the not very effective pivot. You love to see it. That is so clutch. I love it when the AI does that. It is such a nice outplay. as we get a nice confusion in there. And a bite is super effective, but bite is special. And that physical special split is so interesting. I really like it because it's kind of like a time capsule. It sets this game apart from all the rest. Now, I think in general, it's not as good as the future gens from 4 plus when they do fix it, because it's really good and really fun, but it kind of puts Gen 3 on its own, if you will. It really does kind of make it its own thing, and you kind of something that you have to consider and play around anytime you do a Nuzlocke in Gen 3. So in that regard, I really enjoy it, even if I don't think it's better mechanically. So this is why I was telling you, dude, I'm like half asleep right now, but I think it's hilarious. Now Wheezing is one of the only Pokemon that has killed us with an explosion. It might not even have explosion, but I'm going to go into Shadowfax here, the fastest horse in the Lord of the Rings, and we get the poison, not very effective, or doesn't affect pivot, which is what I wanted. And if it does go for the explosion, we have the steel type to resist. So, oh my gosh, this Magneton is completely dancing around this Weezing right now. He can't even do anything, and Shadowfax completely clutches, and we defeat Sydney. So let's take that win. We did so much pre-cap. Let's go do one more Elite Four member for this video, and then let's call it. All right, Sydney defeated. It's now done to take on Phoebe and see what she is working with. Same kind of strategy. We're just going to open with the Politoed. I don't think I've ever got to use this little guy before. I've definitely used a Poliwrath, but the very first video on the channel, actually way back when I was still recording with my phone, I had a Poliwrath in my final Elite Four team, which is really cool, very iconic. So, but right here we have the Politoed. So I'm loving this team. It's so weird. I just wanted to really emphasize Pokemon that I've never been able to use before in a Nuzlocke, and that's kind of what we ended out with. And dude, I am digging the Pokemon on the enemy team here. A Gengar comes down, and I'm kind of nervous that our Toad's going to get stuck in here, but I'm going to risk it. I'm going to go for the Yawn anyway. The Confused Ray comes down. Gengar speeds that is so good. Can we just get the Yawn off? Politoed cannot get the Yawn. I'll risk it. A Shadow Punch comes down. Come on, break out of the confusion, and that is just filthy. One more chance here. One more chance, Politoed. Come on. You hurt yourself 3 times and burn the citrus berry? What are you doing, Elrond? You are not the leader of the elves. You're not good at all. As the Yawn finally comes down, and now we are going to safely pivot out. It keeps using Shadow Punch. It keeps using Shadow Punch. So we actually have Aomi here, the Porygon 2, and that is going to be an immaculate pivot. Does not affect, and we have a super effective Psybeam. So Aomir actually only has one special damaging move, which is unfortunate. Its stab isn't even its physical, so we're not going to be able to capitalize on the really good special attack. But another pivot, bro, into Wobbuffet for the not very effective damage. The AI is feeling itself right now. And if we can, because it's a randomizer, Wobbuffet loses its shadow attack ability potentially. So we actually want to pivot into something that can ramp up. And now I'm seeing this now, and we actually don't have anything. So if that's the case, we need to pivot into a Yawn so we can work around it, so we don't get slammed with the counter or the Mirror Coat. So here we go. Oh my God, the clutch. It just used Safeguard. It absolutely just used Safeguard. And honestly, dude, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to Yawn until the Safeguard gets broken, because I don't want to risk this. We are just going to Yawn, let the Safeguard go, and there we go. Let's get the Yawn, because I do not want to get one-shot crit by a ridiculous counter or an accidental Mirror Coat, if you will. So let's go ahead and do that, and then let's lean into the super effective Shadow Punch for the guaranteed kill if we can. So right here, it's probably going to be a 2-shot. Yep, because of that bulky defense. No problem here. And if it wakes up and returns with a counter, I'm leaving. Okay, we are good. We are absolutely good here. Daniel comes down with the full restore. And I think I'm going to cheese this because we've been using the physical move. I think we're going to go for the Ice Beam, get it in range, and then finish with a Shadow Punch, because it'll go for counter because I have... Oh my God! No. Bro, what the Cracker Jacks? I went for Shadow Punch because it's physical, and then Wobbuffet needs to return with a physical move, and it predicts the special Ice Beam. What is that mindless violence? Um, yeah, well, okay, we have to swap here because if it sends out a Pokemon that locks in the Mewtwo, we lose Mewtwo. So I need to pivot into probably Salamence. Oh, my heart just dropped, dude. The Mewtwo holds. The Mewtwo absolutely holds, and I think an Ice Beam will kill from that range. Absolutely. Dude, I am speechless. I am absolutely speechless. The Gengar comes down. It's still asleep. It is a sacrificial slaughter, but it wakes up and gets a really nice Confuse Ray off. I tip my hat to you. This Gengar, dude, this Gengar is 4 for 4, and with that pure power, we absolutely slam jam ourselves. So we are going back into the Porygon 2. This is an absolute debacle as the Destiny Bond comes down, and I'm gonna cheese recover until it finds it fitting in its heart not to try to take my beautiful Porygon. So that's 3 Destiny Bonds. Come on, you grinning Gengar. I see what you're doing. And it gets another Confuse Ray, dude. So it's got 2 more. We already prepared a Lumberry. No, it eats my Lumberry. That is so brutal. And then I just cheese another recover because I am a pro Nuzlocker. I am an absolute pro Nuzlocker. All right. Let's see here. We're just gonna go into Shadowfax. Because the speed boost. There we go. We got one more Destiny Bond. We got one more Destiny Bond, you savage. So because the Gengar is paralyzed now, it won't be faster. So now we can safely go in to the cheese. Because it used Shadow Punch. Because it used Shadow Punch. There is the Bayonet. Destiny Bond is an absolute run killer. It really is. So let's go for the Spark here. Bayonet is here to stay. The Shadow Ball comes down. That does no damage. That Steel type still resist Ghost because it is Gen 3. Beautiful stuff. Shadowfax fades with the Spark. You'll love to see it. 2 Pokemon left. And the Sceptile comes down. I can't really do anything. Tri-Attack is physical. But, I mean, we can go for, like, a burn or something. We can go for a burn, maybe a paralysis, maybe even a freeze. That would be fun. So let's see how much damage this does. It'd probably be like a 3-shot. Yeah, not even. So let's see here. I have Salamence. Salamence can absolutely one-shot with Fly. So let's do that. Fellowship gets in there. Beautiful. Now it can just protect. Yeah, detect cheese. So, oh, it can't. If it detects on the first turn, it can't cheese the second, or it has a much harder time getting that second detect down, which is really nice. The Wigglytuff is here to stay. And let's just get the synthesis. Let's see what Wigglytuff's going to do. Let's absolute. Oh, it goes for the Sing. You monster. You absolute monster. Does it have double edge? It has defense curl. Nice. I respect that. I respect that as the Wigglytuff. So it gets a stab, double tap here, and we're fine. Everything's fine. We're just going to get a fly. We're just taking this nice and slow because that Wobbuffet was filthy with that Mirror Coat, that Mewtwo, with the fadeaway crit. Phoebe is vanquished. Developer Daniel is gone, and that will do it. The nonsense continues. We have 3 more battles in this run, but as far as this video goes, as always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and I will catch you on the flip. Peace.